Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to create a no-bake triple chocolate brownie. But instead of using your typical square pan, what we're actually going to do is we're going to create a Star Trek creature using the same recipe. And in order to do that, what you're going to need is you're going to need graham crackers, kosher salt, condensed milk, cocoa powder, chocolate, and some roasted chopped hazelnuts. Now the recipe calls for half a cup of chopped roasted hazelnuts. And most of the chopped hazelnuts you're going to find are not already roasted. So you're going to have to roast them. In order to do that, just take your half cup, pour it into a sheet pan. Set your oven at 375 degrees. And stick it in there for a few minutes and let it roast. Now while the nuts are roasting, it's going to take about 5 minutes. What we're also going to do is we need to melt the chocolate. And you should have a double boiler. If you don't, a pot with another pot inside will help. Put the water in the bottom part. That's going to boil and heat up this part where you're going to put the chocolate in. And just allow the chocolate to melt. So we're going to put this on the stove and get to work on that right now. Now during this time, it's already been 5 minutes, so we've taken the nuts out of the oven. And what we also need to do is while the chocolate's melting, we have it going on a low boil. So it's going to take a while. You don't want to melt it too fast because you can burn it. You're going to need 8 graham crackers and you're going to have to crush them up. So take a bowl, take your graham crackers out. Put them in the bowl and then just crush them up. One of the best ways to crush your graham crackers is not trying to do it with your hands, but just take another bowl and just push. But they get the point. Okay. Now as you get down to the bottom, you get to the smaller pieces. Probably going to be easier to use a spoon to just break up these little bits and pieces up. Alright. Once you finish, you should have nicely fine crushed graham crackers. Now the next thing we need to do is go back to the hazelnuts, and because they're supposed to be finely chopped. And the kind that we have, most of them are not fine. So here's a little trick. Okay, get all the air out of the bag and then just pour your nuts into with your graham crackers. Okay, now you'll need a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. Put that in the bowl as well. And then you're going to need a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. If you don't have a measuring cup, it's not that hard. All you do is just take a little bit. And make sure you just 1/2 teaspoon. Alright, now what you want to do is stir and mix up all the dry goods before you add the sweetened condensed milk. And what you're going to add is you're going to add 3/4 cups of sweetened condensed milk into this mixture. Okay, now we've gotten it nicely mixed. I'm going to add 3/4 cup. Now the next thing we need to add is the chocolate. Chocolate's been well melted, and you want to be very careful because this is hot. So make sure you always use hot pad or towel or something, and just pour that right in with everything else. Try to get all of it in. Don't leave anything behind. This is 4 ounces of melted chocolate. Okay, now mix together thoroughly. Okay, now as you mix it, it should get very, very thick, and what you want to do is you want to make sure you're going to scrape off all the bits and pieces, especially if they get stuck in the spoon, so it all mixes well together. But this is what you want. You want it to be able so that you can mold it. Alright, now, the next step is to get it out. The chocolate is basically re-solidifying, so what we're, it's going to make it a little bit actually perfect for us to put into the molds. So I'm just going to use my hands. Now, because this is no bake, what we're going to do next is we're going to stick this in the fridge, and we're going to let it harden chill for about an hour, and then we're going to put them together. Okay, now I know I said you put this in the fridge for 1 hour, but we actually took it out after only 30 minutes because you do 1 hour for a full set. But before this sets, we're going to need to do a little bit of tweaking on it. So I've taken it out, taken a plate, put a little parchment paper on that, and now we're going to take out the large piece. After 30 minutes, it's set pretty well. And we're going to put that down. And then we're going to take the smaller piece, which is his head, and place that on. And at this point, you can just kind of push down and mold it how you want it. Alright, so basically all I do is just push on it until I got it molded into the shape that I want, which is the basic shape. Now, one of the things is making the arms. Should have done that separately, but on this one it's all together, so his arms are going to be just kind of sticking out just a wee bit just by pushing down here. And if any bits fall off, just push them back up. And then we'll put him back in the fridge. Okay, so in the fridge he's going to go.